a disclaimer right here, right now. Um, these are just thoughts and opinions and should be treated as such. You've heard the stories of divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived. Whether it be on Broadway / West End in the matter of Six, the musical, or whether it be in TV shows that depict King Henry VIII. And his 6 wives. History has always proven us to be a fragile thing, us as humans. And King Henry VIII was no exception. You see, King Henry VIII had a love of his family, his country, and the people of England. But I'm going to go through my personal beliefs as far as it were with him with each of his wives. So I'm not going to take into consideration, and I'm not considering the musicals or the TV shows or the movies as canon, although, yes, a lot of them do have, in one form or another, something that he did, said, or was going to do. So I'm going to start off with Henry, with his first wife, who is technically his brother's wife, but his brother died before he did. Why is this important, you may ask? In the Catholic Church today, and I'm going to put today's church politics into back then, if that makes sense. Yes, I know he is the King of England, and the rules of the Catholic Church do not apply to him per se. But for all intents and purposes, for the preface of the video that I'm doing, it is considered incest in the Catholic Church that if you were to marry your brother's wife, that you would be sleeping essentially with your brother. So in the book of Leviticus, in the church's Bible, it says that you shall become infertile if you were to marry and or sleep with your brother's wife. And yet, Catherine of Aragon provided Henry with a daughter. The only one that she ever had with Henry. Okay, now, bear in mind, Henry was set off doing something totally different from what his brother was doing, which His brother was supposed to be the King of England. His brother dies. Heir to the next heir is, of course, King Henry VIII. So here we go. So Catherine gets put into um, sort of like a limbo. I'm going to say that that's what it was called. She was put into limbo. She basically was put into the church, or not into, was not actually put into a church. She was actually put into the London Tower to await for the next king to be crowned. The next king, of course, being King Henry VIII. Now, so Catherine gets married to Henry. They produce a daughter. Henry wants a divorce from her. Why? Because of the daughter. A lot of people don't understand that he also had an affair with Catherine's lady in waiting, which was Anne Boleyn. Now, Miss Anne Boleyn, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. She was not so much a slut by today's society. She actually, believe it or not, dressed appropriately and all that, especially for a lady in waiting. Well, fast forward, Anne gets divorced from King Henry and moves right on in, again, another daughter. And then this is where allegations started arising that alleged allegations that Anne Boleyn was having extracurriculars with multiple different people. I personally do not believe that. Again, this is just my personal opinion. It was never confirmed or denied by by British royalty historians, and it's left up in kind of it's up to you if you believe it or not. Me personally, I do not. Okay. So Anne produces yet another female. And she's charged, after the birth, is charged with sleeping with people other than her husband. Again, it's left to it's up to the person's interpretation of the charge. Personally, I do not believe she did it. So there you go. And then you have Jane Seymour. As Six points out, she was the only one he really truly loved. Produces a male heir before dying. You gotta understand, this is the 1500s, 1600s, somewhere around there. And medical advances were not really big back then. So she dies, giving birth to Henry's only male heir. Now, she had a good run, about I think almost a year. If I may be wrong, do not quote me on this, but I think about a year before her conception of Henry's male heir, and ultimately giving birth to the male heir before, again, like I said, dying. Henry basically denied all the two previous marriages and denied that the girls were his at all. That is historically accurate. They did actually, he actually did deny the girls, which made them royally fucked up, so to speak. As far as, you know, having a normal life. And then you have Anna of Cleves. Again, she produces another female. But this time, Henry kind of went into war and fell off, or went jousting or something, and fell off his horse and suffered major complications because of it, which would pretty much end his life later on. Anna Cleves produces a female. He divorces her. Catherine Howard produces a female. And again, accusations that she was sleeping around festered. And again, I do not believe she did it. Again, personal opinion. And finally, we have Catherine Parr. Sorry, I had to think there for a second. She's the only one that survived Henry's wrath and reign, actually surpassing him as far as her life. He died before she did. Okay. So remember that jousting thing I told you guys about? That actually fucked him up so bad, he almost died because of it. It was that very accident that killed him before Catherine Parr. Now, he's a stubborn mule. He hated his girls and only focused on his son, shutting him up, basically. And he would write letters to his ladies in waiting. So there you go. If you want me to do more about his history, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for coming in, stopping by, and see you when I see you.